Callie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Racquel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hey, how are you?
you. I'm good. I am in sunny South Florida. I can't complain. So, it's
Can't
nice.
complain.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I'm in New York, a bit rainy here, but it is what it is.
It's the perfect day to do this interview. It's fine.
Yes, this is meant to be. So don't worry.
Of course. I just wanted to say congratulations on your new track, Crash Into Me, which features Madison Daniel. It came out last week, right?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited about it. I'm happy to just have it out finally and get it out there.
When did you know that this was the song that would be the single?
It was really interesting because I've been working on so much music in the past year in this pandemic. It's just been like every single day pumping out the tunes, just getting everything done because I've had so much time on my hands without traveling or anything like that. So that's the advantage, the positive side of everything. But yeah, it was one of the songs that I started working on and immediately it came together so fast. One of the fastest songs I've ever worked on because Madison sent over a top line. It was originally called Drown. And then I heard just Crash Into Me, and I was thinking, this is such a great line, Crash Into Me, because I just feel like it's so relatable. You just want someone to just fully be with you or something, and you just want it to be like, just don't even worry about anything. Let's just crash into each other type of mentality.
How did you meet
I
Madison?
met Madison because she sent over just a bunch of ideas to me, just reaching out, and I heard a bunch of her ideas. She was like, "Hey, I'm a singer songwriter," and she wanted someone. She's these aren't songs she's going to use for her own original project. So she said, "You feel free to work on anything or take a line out of it, really anything." She was so nice. So I just immediately listened to everything and once I heard Crash Into Me, I said, this is it. We have to work on this together. And it's a huge part of her. And it's a big story with her personal life and all this stuff. So I felt like this has to be a collaboration. This can't just be a top line or something. And I feel so like we became friends in a virtual way and it just worked out. So I'm really happy about it.
That is such a 2021, 2020 thing. Like, became friends in a virtual way. I feel like that's been my whole
Yes.
past year.
Yes.
It's so
You
crazy.
got to connect somehow, and I think it's actually helped because with no not being social in person, you have to go the extra mile now and actually reach out to people and make things happen more so than you would in normal life or expect to just see someone out and about. Like right now it's like you have to go for it almost, so it gives you that boost of confidence and energy.
It's interesting that you say that because I feel like we were in this place where everyone was so not into meeting people. We were all just so busy with life and like on our phones 24/7.
Hmm.
And now that we've been pretty much locked up for a year, I cannot wait to like see you at a festival and like meet you in
And
real
hug
life.
you
Yes, and
and
hug you.
and dance.
It's basically a cultural reset, which I really do
Yes.
think we needed. Yeah, you're not afraid to take risks with your music. Where do you think this confidence comes from?
I think it comes from my drive. I've always had a strong mindset that I always need to be doing something. I love keeping myself busy, and it comes from way back when I was around 6 years old dancing ballet. And I think I learned how to be disciplined and create your own schedule or make the most out of your day. And music brings me so much joy. And since I've known I've wanted to do this at such an early age, I feel like it's such a blessing because a lot of people don't know what they want to do for a while. And it just came to me and I decided I want to do this and I've fully head on gone through it every single day for years now. And there's no looking back.
I know that dance totally influenced, my musical love and just
Mhm.
appreciation for music. So, how do you think it's influenced you?
I would agree. I would agree with you. It's totally impacted me. When I was dancing, I was more focused on the orchestra and the conductor and how he was timing his beats. And it was interesting because there would always be a different conductor each night. So you just had to like know the person and their personality. And I would be like, oh, tonight it's going to be really fast. So I think it's I learned how to almost beat match while dancing without even realizing. And then once I got into drumming, it was easy for me to understand BPMs. And then I got into DJing, and it was just kind of everything together. And I love classical music. I think it's gorgeous. You could cry in a theater and just and be blown away, and I think it enhances the art of dancing always. And without music, there's really nothing there. Without the emotion towards it, I feel like it helps. So with my music, I love to dive into the visuals or try to interact with the crowd when I'm DJing and dance around, or be drumming and be animated, because I think it adds so much to the music playing. Like everything goes together
Do you
pretty
ever
well.
see yourself putting together some sort of like ballet with your music or a set or anything like that? That could be totally cool.
It's in there. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying no.
Opportunities are endless.
Opportunities are endless. You never know. You never know.
You describe your sound as indie club. Tell me about your musical journey. Obviously, you said, the dance and then kind of going to the drumming and then producing an EDM. But was there ever a moment where you kind of were like, this is not the sound I'm trying to do, and had to completely pivot? And that's how you got to indie club?
That's such a good question, because it really has been such a musical journey for me finding my sound. And I think it happens different for every single artist that comes on and says, how, when you ask how did you find your sound, there could be, oh, I've always known that this is what I want to produce, or a whole story. And I think I come from DJing first and foremost. I was a DJ before producing, and I learned basically the style of music that I liked through opening for artists and through going to shows and figuring out what I wanted to DJ. Okay, if I like DJing this, I probably want to produce it. So I think DJing at an early age, starting around 15 at these venues, I picked up a certain sound. And I originally thought, oh, to sound more legit, I want to try to do what other people are doing, right? That was the first mentality. So I downloaded Ableton. I self-taught, like everything self-taught there, YouTube tutorials, horrible edits and remixes that were being made in the beginning, really bad. It's okay. It's all a journey. It's a process. But yeah, so once I started getting comfortable with it, I started to just make bass heavy music. It was very much sound design. It was very technical, and I almost with the DJing mentality where I learned how to play vinyl records before even performing at all, and I practiced every day for 3 years. I kind of had that same mentality with producing. I wanted to prove myself, and show that I could do something, and take my time with it. And I realized, oh, I really want to tell a story with my music. So I took a step back. I started working on songwriting. I started just journaling. I started just writing down my thoughts and ideas and stuff I was going through feeling wise. And then I just really got into it and started creating this sound that became indie club, or what I want to call it now. And I'm so excited about it because it feels the most me it's ever felt, this music.
And I think that's so important. And you are such a strong, confident. I keep mentioning the confidence, but it's true. Female in the music industry, and that's really empowering to see, especially from someone who is 21 years old and you've been doing this, like you said, since you were 15. And I
Yes.
mean, let's be real, the EDM and producing kind of side of things is kind of a boys' club, and it definitely, I'm sure you've had your trials and tribulations with trying to prove yourself, but what kind of keeps
Yes.
you going and being like, I'm not just some 21-year-old girl, I know what I'm doing. Pay attention to me, believe in me.
Yes. So I think it just comes from myself just being like, yeah, I love doing this. Why wouldn't anyone come to my show? Let's have a good time. And I just put my whole heart into each show that I do. I do extra preparation. I just go really in on all these things because I care so much. And I think it shows as the result, and people end up seeing that. And there's some doubts, or when I was starting out, of course, there's always the older men that are just kind of looking at me, oh, what is she doing? She's going to DJ type of thing. And of course, that's New York and that's Webster Hall. And I was 15 at Webster Hall. It's a pretty interesting person to be DJing because it's very rare, especially at that time. So when I started DJing, some of these guys would be saying to the promoter or to like Webster Hall, is she actually DJing? They went to me after and said that and told me like, oh, these guys are saying that. And I said, okay, have them come see me play or have them come on stage and watch my DJing, or let's put GoPros and show that, I'm actually DJing. Why would I practice for 3 years every day of my life to go up there and play a pre-recorded set? I would have no respect for myself. So, so I work so hard to get to that point where it's like that stuff just doesn't even upset you. It just motivates you, where you're like, yeah, come see what I'm about. And then they turn into either your fans or they can stay salty and they don't have to come.
That alone, I mean, 6 years ago too, you don't even think about it. Like where we are with the industry now is a very different place than it was six
Yes.
years ago. And I feel like now it is more inclusive. And I always say every DJ and producer that I've ever interviewed, and obviously it's been quite a bit from working in EDM for so long now. And I mean, everyone's really cool that I've talked to and really just open, and I think it's just going to allow for even more women to kind of get into it, and you're definitely doing your job with inspiring. So I
Thank you so
like,
much.
round of applause for you. It makes me so
Round
happy.
of applause for you. You're killing it as well. I appreciate that though, and I think a lot of the EDM community and also the fans, I think are the ones that motivate you the most because they are so inclusive. They love everyone. When you go to a festival, I mean, these people will go see anyone and support them and show up and give their all. And I think that's why EDM is so cool, and that the culture brings you so much inspiration all the time.
What was the moment, if there was one, that you were like, oh my God, this is happening? Someone like literally smack me because I can't even believe this is happening right now.
Oh my gosh, I think there's been so many experiences like that because I just go into it where I'm opening and then all of a sudden I'm talking to one of my favorite DJs in the world so casually, and he's like, "Oh, I've heard a lot about you." And I'm like, "How? How do you know who I am?" And so that stuff is crazy, but I think one crazy thing was that I was Skrillex asked me to open for him, very literally in the DMs. It was hysterical. And he
Casual.
asked me very casual, and would you open? Yes, I will.
You're like, you don't even have to finish that statement.
Yeah,
Yes.
would you open anywhere? Don't worry, I will be there. Don't worry. But yeah, so he was doing a pop up show in Brooklyn for his capsule collection with Alsla and this whole thing, and it was packed. And I go and I open, and he just shows up, and of course, like a whole group of people show up with him, and it's like this huge, oh my God, Skrillex is here, and I'm freaking out. I'm still on stage, and then he comes up on stage, just gives me a hug, like, "What's up, Callie? Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "So what's happening?"
If you could go back to back with anyone, who would it be?
I will always say Skrillex because that's always a fun back to back. Um, I would love to go back to back with Alice in Wonderland, and we've never played a show together, but she's insanely talented DJ. And I think it would be really fun because we kind of would match each other's energy, I think, and just have like a blast on stage.
That would definitely be a great back to back for sure.
Yeah.
What can we expect from Callie Reiff in the next couple months?
So, okay, so I had the single just come out, and I have a few more singles that are going to come out soon, like two or three more, and then there's going to be an EP. So I'm going to have an EP just basically introducing this indie club sound of mine and this new wave, and I'm really excited about that because with the EP, it's going to be a lot of vocalists on there that I love and up and coming artists that I think are really talented and deserve all the success, and they're really fun and nice. So I love working with people like that, and maybe an instrumental, we'll see. And yeah, you can expect hopefully some shows as well in the future because it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're crossing our fingers.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how it's going.
So much going on. Glad you're staying busy. I can't wait for shows to be back. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like that is very important here. Where can everyone find you? Plug yourself so we can just find you and support you everywhere.
Okay, so it's just Callie Reiff on all socials. My first name, last name, CALLIEREIFF. And yeah, Spotify, on all the streaming platforms, you can check out Crash Into Me, out now with Madison Daniel. And I'm excited to release more music.
Yes, I'm excited for you to release more music. Hopefully I get to talk to you again soon and eventually
Yes.
see you in real life and give you the biggest
Yes, please.
It's gonna be
Yes.
so great. Callie, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Thank you for your time. Thanks, everyone.
Of course, I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yes, talk to you soon.